Hey everyone, Overfletch here, and today I am bringing you another Fletch Rambles video. Also, this video will actually be a RuneScape ramble, because my last ones have not really been RuneScape related, but that's okay. This one's going to be, so. Let me know also, do you prefer RuneScape rambles, or do you just like them in general? Do you just enjoy listening to them, or whatever you do while you play RuneScape? Let me know also that in comments, that's something I'd really like to know, but anyways, speaking of rambles, I really want to try to do this next week. I'm gonna try and do, because this is my second one of the week. I'm gonna try and do one RuneScape a week, and if I want to, one non-RuneScape a week. I tried to do two a week, but I haven't perfectly done it yet. So I'm gonna try and get into that. Hopefully, starting next week. And like I said, if it happens, it happens. But I'm gonna try and do at least one RuneScape related ramble. Since this is a RuneScape channel, I believe that people want to come watch these ramble or listen to them because it's RuneScape related. Anyways, let's get right into it. Oh yeah, also, I wanted to mention one thing before we start. Next weekend is RuneFest, and of course it's RuneFest, so there's going to be a lot of information to talk about RuneFest. I might be uploading multiple rambles in one day. Now I don't know if anyone would like to watch a 1 hour ramble, so my proposal is that I would upload, if, for example, I have an hour worth of rambling, I will make two videos, like two 30-minute ones. I'd probably just upload them either at the same time or about the same time. But it honestly just depends on how much information I have to discuss. If I have, let's pretend, 2 hours, then I'll probably cut it up into 4 videos, and I'll try and put them up like all together. I won't make it like like every couple weeks or every couple days, because if I do that, it's RuneFest information. You guys probably want to know it about the time it happens. So anyways, that's all for that. That's next weekend. So if you don't want to watch the RuneFest live stream, I will be watching all of it personally, and I will try. Like I said, I will get you guys some information. Anyways, let's get right into this one. So I don't know exactly what the title is for this video, but I do know what I am discussing. There is, of course, like usual, there's a few Ninja Teasers that happen during the week. There is also two live streams that happen. One was about a Q&A about like the month of September, like the month ahead. And also there is a patch note teaser that Mod Shawnee does every weekend, or every Friday actually, so we'll be discussing that. And we'll also be discussing Mod Osborne's response about Beyond the Arc. And if you don't know about that, I'll talk about that when I get to it. But basically, there has been a lot of unrest. I don't know. Basically, a lot of people just aren't happy with microtransactions currently, so Mon Osborne gave a response, and I'm going to give my response to that at the end of this ramble. It's going to be, I don't know, I feel like it's going to be a longer ramble, so if you like longer ones also, probably it's going to be a longer one, because I have a lot to talk about right now. And like I said, I haven't done a RuneScape one in a while, so might as well give you guys some RuneScape information. First off, the first little Ninja teaser, this is actually from September 1st, so it's a little outdated, but you might not have seen it yet because it's just on Twitter. The Rise of the Six Pets will be going to the interface relatively soon. It's not confirmed what date it is at as of this time, but it could be pretty soon, so that's something nice to note. They did not have a release date on it, and also at release there will not be overrides of the pets because that's animation work, and they don't have the animation work like scheduled, so that won't be a priority, but it will be after. But anyways, that is that. Like I said, it's all the bobbleheads. So if you if you enjoy the bobbleheads and you've stored them in your bank, now you can use them as boss pets. Well, not overrides yet, but they will be overrides eventually. And also after that, Madrama even talked about that after bobbleheads, which they'll be hopefully soon. After overrides, after bobbleheads, they will be working on the Soulworks pets, so stuff like the Jad pet is needed for IFB, and then like the Abyssal Demon, the Cockatrice, all of those little ones. So that's another one to think about. The next Ninja teaser is from Mod Harrison. This is actually dated the 7th of September, so this one is coming out Monday, which is like what, the 12th? I think it's the 12th. But anyways, the teaser is two things, and it shows what it says. So I will read it exactly word for word. Live Monday. Prevent 5% adrenaline drain when re-entering combat mode shortly after leaving. And there's also the other one, prevent detonate from dropping you out of combat if you take too long. So I can see where these are used or will be used, and people probably want them because they're ninja fixes. So again, like I said, that's probably like that's for higher up PVM and stuff. So, and well, I mean the first one isn't as much, but anyways, like those are just the Ninja Teasers that have come out recently. They haven't done many, like, my opinion, like bigger ones or nice ones. Like, well, actually there is one coming out soon. It's in the patch notes. But anyways, let's get right into the Q&A for the month ahead. So the first part of this is talking about anti-walk. If you guys didn't know, this Monday is going to be coming out. There is basically, if you don't do a lot of higher level PVM, if you're really good at these bosses, you can walk the boss. And what it means is, like, actually, like, say for like, you literally walk, and the boss is like, it walks next to you also, and it can't hit you. It can't perform its special attacks. So places like Araxor, Rise of the Six, Virago, stuff like that, it's really, really helpful. But it takes some skill. Jagex has, well, I think it's the Combat Council, I think it's what they call it. Basically, they're saying that they don't like it, and they're gonna stop it Monday. After Monday, you cannot walk bosses. They were going to put in basically an anti-walk mechanic. I believe it said it's going to work kind of like Governor 2, where if you get under them, they will still attack you. And speaking of, they're going to take out the anti-walk mechanics at 2 bosses, at Nex and at Corporal Beast. I haven't shown any Nex clips, but if you've never done solo Nex, I don't know if this works duo Nex, by the way. I haven't experienced this walk mechanic or anti-walk mechanic with a duo. I've only soloed since then. But if you solo and you get really far away from, I think actually it could work. But anyways, if you get far enough away from Nex, say you're killing one of the minions, and actually the first phase it really works on the smoke. On smoke phase, if basically like when you first get in, when she does like the thing where she'll like go to the center, sometimes if you're too far away with the minion, she will stun you for 10 seconds. It's the best place to me tell you, but basically you get stun locked, and it's really annoying, honestly. So glad that thing's getting removed. And also the Corporal Beast anti-walk. Now a lot of people didn't realize this is actually an a anti-walk mechanic. People thought this is a real mechanic. Basically, when you go to Corp, when you go under it, after certain, like, it has I don't know, it has some type of calculation, and it will randomly stomp you for like 4 or 5k. It's pretty good. It's pretty annoying. If you basically, they're gonna remove that, and now you can actually use Slaughter and not have to pain that. Apparently, they're gonna allow walking on some bosses. It didn't say what, but I don't know which ones. Oh yeah, also, debuff items are going to be compacted. I don't remember how they exactly said that. I think they meant like it stacks up to like 10% debuff. But anyways, they said that also Stadius Warhammer will remain the best debuff weapon or item, or ability to debuff basically. So that's the best. Also, they were talking about that boss timers might be reset, but it will be addressed in the Combat Runefest talk. So that is next weekend. So we will have to talk about that next weekend, because I can't really say that right now. Yeah, they had a quote about this, and it says, "Meant to stop players from cheesing content that's not to be cheesed." So it's been kind of a debate. I know like some people that talk about like how walking it is one, it does take a while to learn, and it is a harder mechanic to learn. But on the flip side, doing it really does cheap the boss. You can camp Soul Split. You don't have to worry about its mechanics. They're gone pretty much. So that's my opinion, that it's harder to learn, but the reward is so good. It's you just don't see the mechanics, and it's just kind of wrong to me. So I'm personally glad anti-walking's coming in, I'm glad that walking is going away, so that's good. I think it's pretty much all we need to talk about that. Now we're talking about some of the September updates. Now, this is the update from last Monday. It's about the mining augmented pickaxes, which, for those of you unaware, now you can augment your pickaxes. and I believe yeah, it's just like woodcutting where if you have a tool belt like dragon or a crystal hatchet, either one of them, you can actually just take it out. I think you have to go to like the dwarf. I don't remember. I know I did it with mine. I had a crystal hatchet, and oh no, yeah, crystal hatchet, and I remember I just took it out and augmented it, and I think I put a dragon bag in it. Anyways, other than that, oh yeah, there was a few things. They did some things under the hood that they didn't really tell people about. Well, they did after, but this is for mining smithing. They're getting the groundwork basically for mining smithing rework. So they changed how rocks were coded, and there were some bugs that went through because of this. And now and they also like one of them was with this harmonized like ore, and I don't know. I think it's also worked at Sarin stones. I believe some people told me Sarin stones that basically just had a problem. I didn't personally encounter it because I'm not mining, so I don't 100% know what it was. But whatever that was is now hotfixed. So basically, all that shenanigans is gone. That's all good. Yeah, they said that the Underhood, like all the things they did, will make it easier for them later when they do have to do the mining smithing rework. And another update for this month, I don't know when it's going to come out, is Nomad Hard Mode. It is a weekly dungeon, like on D&D, distraction diversion. And you can also use the tokens. So if your main account, Ironman of course cannot get them. I think they said on like Twitter that it will be a trim comp requirement, but they're debating if it's a Master Quest Cape requirement. So that's something to think about. I mean, it could change. So like we need to wait till it comes out to really find out. But anyways, the Nomad Hard Mode is a harder version of the Nomad Elegy boss fight, and it has no checkpoints, and it removes all of the phases, the character phases from the fight. So if you've killed if you've done Nomad Elegy, you'll understand what I'm talking about, where it changed like the phases. And it also has a rare drop, which is the Soul Cape. And they haven't talked too much about it as far as I've seen, but it seems really interesting. To me, it kind of seems like an Abomination Cape 2.0 kind of thing, where it's like a really rare drop from something like that. I hope it's not too rare, because you only get one loot a week. Like, I hope it's not 1 in 1,000, because I personally like going for everything, so if it's going to take me 1,000 loots and I only get 52 a year, that's a little OP. I mean, that's a little dumb, so I hope it's something like maybe 1 in 50, because you only get one loot a week. That is, I don't know, I don't like the one loot thing personally, because it has a rare drop. I think that's kind of dumb. Someone will get it their first loot, and then others will have to wait 3 years before they get their first soul cape. So that's my opinion on that. And I will personally definitely be doing hard mode Nomad, and we will be seeing what drops we can get. Hopefully something good. I know it says the rare drop, but I hope there's other things you can actually get. And there's also going to be, oh yeah, there's going to be a mini quest called Tales of Nomad. And the only requirement is Nomad's Elegy, so all the requirements are Nomad's Elegy and to do the quest. It will have a few characters from Nomad's Elegy and some other things like, I think it's Xenia, I don't know how to say that correctly. It'll have Karasi and Jessica, Def, and Zanuck. This will be a Master Quest Cape requirement, and it's a Clue Investigator styled, and it's also learning about Nomad's backstory. So if you like lore, you'll probably like it. I don't know if I do. Do I personally? I like a lot of that stuff. So I personally think it'd be a good update, and there needs to be a lot of thing is every update doesn't have to be PVM. Every update doesn't have to be skilling. So I'm glad a lot of there's lore and stuff like that coming out. Speaking of October, November, December, I'm actually pretty excited for, because I'm getting excited for Slisuke's endgame. I'm curious what they're gonna do. So also a few more updates for this month. The Dagannoth King rework. If you have not seen that, I will try and put a picture in the description. Basically, there is a graphical rework of Dagannoth King's their lair, and I think they said around. There's also a few places they're changing, they're improving graphically because of Dagannoth Kings. I'll probably be able to discuss this more whenever it comes out. So yeah, that's gonna be something. But the pets for Dagannoth Kings will not be reworked initially on release, but they will be reworked eventually. I don't know if they'll do anything like maybe they'll let us, I don't know, toggle them or have something so we can see the old ones just to have a kind of a reminder, but they don't, oh well. And also 2 more updates for this month. There's going to be double XP weekend, the weekend after RuneFest, so September 23rd to September 26th. If you're not an Ironman, then you can go happily go get your double XP. If you're an Ironman, of course, it's just another weekend, but you know, they're fun and other people like them, so that's cool. And also the currency pouch, if you did not see, basically they're going to be changing, basically this, I believe, the coin pouch itself will turn into more of a currency pouch. But I've like heard some weird things about it, so I'm kind of curious to when it comes out, if it'll be as good as they say it is. They're gonna try to put every currency they want to in it, so that'd be very nice. And speaking of updates for September, we have Deathmatch and Bounty Hunter. There is a dev vlog, which I can post also in the description. I'll try to remember to do that. It discusses a lot of the nicer rewards and all that. There was a few things they've changed recently. Like, I don't know, but I haven't read the dev personally, so I don't really know a lot of the design on the Deathmatch and Bounty Hunter. But apparently they removed one reward, the Scroll of Intimidation. And they also changed the Deathmatch brackets to work like the old Bounty Hunter. So, I personally did not do a lot of PVM, so I don't really know 100% how that'll all work. So, I'm not also a PvPer. I don't do PvP, so it's not going to be my kind of update. But like I said, we need things that other people want to do, so I hope those people enjoy it, basically. And speaking of, oh yeah, there will be no comp and no trim for comp requirements for this update. And because I quote, I want you to do PvP because you find it fun. I like that. Um, There'll probably be, I guess, true trim requirements. If you don't know, true trim is not fan made, but is a player made trim requirement. Like, basically, it's literally everything in the game. So there won't be any trim comp requirements. But I mean, is that even a bad thing? I guess it really isn't when you think about it. But it's not a good thing either. I mean, people won't think about it, I guess, because people will not be forced to do the update. Kind of like the Arc. If the Arc had no comp requirements, I feel like people would have liked it more. I personally enjoyed the Arc because I never had to grind for the comp requirements. I don't care yet. I'll do the comp requirements probably in like 2017, or probably when the next batch comes out. There's probably a faster way to get chimes, so I didn't have to grind for that. I didn't mind, and I personally like AFK, which thing is, a lot of people in the game like AFK. I didn't understand that, but I also didn't have to get like 20,000 chimes for my, comp to get my comp gate back. So maybe I don't understand. Maybe I don't, understand it. So, but I personally like the Arc. It's a beautiful environment. It's a great place. I like the combat. I like the Arhats. Although after 6,000 kills, I really don't like them anymore. But they were a good monster. All that stuff. But at least Jagex is knowing that people don't want to just be forced into doing things, so that's always good. And also, Bounty Hunter, apparently they're saying that it's gonna be kind of like the old school RuneScape Bounty Hunter when I'm reading, because it will one, it'll be using an elo system, so that's like a lot of other games, but I don't know, 99% sure old school RuneScape doesn't have any type of elo system for those. They have it for like the Rune Link, which I believe is like the Connect 4. I think that's the name for it, the Connect 4 old school RuneScape. But anyways, you'll be getting emblems for killing people. So if you don't know, like, I'm guessing it's gonna be like old school RuneScape where you have small little emblems, and when you kill people, you upgrade your emblem. That's my like feeling what they'll probably do. And you can trade these emblems in for points to unlock items from a reward shop. And probably just like old school RuneScape, which I'm looking at the rewards. A lot of this looks like old school RuneScape, but probably like old school RuneScape where you kill a lot of people, you get like a better emblem, you trade that in, and you buy some cool things, some cosmetics, you can buy like rune shiz, and well, the probably will do rune, but you know what I mean, like some like valuables, and then you can buy probably some uniques. But ours seems like it's gonna be like real uniques. And also, if you don't know what an elo system is, you gain points for killing people that have a better elo than you or better score. You lose points when you die to people that have a worse elo than you. And the matches are primarily based on your skill. It's like your elo compared to your combat level, because everybody's max combat pretty much, so it wouldn't really matter. Now, personally, I know I will get destroyed when I try to do this, so kind of looking forward to it, kind of not. But let's talk about some of the rewards from Bounty Hunter. There's going to be a few rewards. One of them is the Rune Pouch. Well, actually, there's two of them. There's one from Deathmatch and one from Bounty Hunter. The Deathmatch one cannot be equipped, and it can hold two types of runes. The Bounty Hunter one can be equipped. It's tradable, and it can also hold three types of runes. I don't know if anyone. They didn't say if it degraded at all. I hope they don't degrade. Oh god, that'd be so dumb. But those are gonna be nice. Next, they have Rogue Gloves. They are hybrid power gloves with life points, and the best version provides a 250 life points increase. Not too bad. I don't really see the stats. I could probably read in the dev blog, but dev blogs are pretty long, and I don't want to try and just decompose get through one of those and waste all the time. But it'd be nice to see when that comes out how that is. And there's also Ancient Warrior Armor, and it degrades kind of like they said Port's Armor, but they didn't really explain 100%, so we'll probably see that when there's a behind the scenes or Q&A about this in particular, like right before it comes out. So like I said, this is probably going to be another ramble. We'll probably talk about this later. And also, the Supreme Champion's helm will remain the same, so that's from the Crucible, I'm pretty sure. And if you don't know, they're taking out the Crucible, and also all titles will be pulled out of the Crucible. I think they're reusing the Crucible for this, pretty sure, like the Deathmatch. So that'd be cool to see. I wonder what they will do with some of that stuff, but apparently they're keeping the Supreme Champion's helm, so that's cool, I guess. Anyways, that's enough. That's pretty much all the updates for the month ahead. So I'm going to talk about RuneFest. Let's see. So this year the theme is the Ark. Apparently VR will be big. It says big this time with some RuneScape experiences. I don't know if you guys have. I recently tried virtual reality for the first time a few weeks ago. I tried a HTC Vive, and that is so much fun. So if we're able to actually have some RuneScape experiences in that, it would actually make me look through the VR route. Maybe I wouldn't get one yet because VR is pretty expensive still, but it'd be pretty cool to be able to play my favorite game in VR. Speaking of the Ark, there will be a large boat as a centerpiece at the venue, and people that go to RuneFest will be getting their own dedicated pet. And there will be an additional mechanic that will dwarf other pet mechanics. I'm kind of scared about that. I hope that what they're not saying, it's not something like... I hope they mean a real mechanic. I hope they don't mean something like a Drake, a really annoying pet that does something that's super annoying, so hopefully. And they also said that people watching the live stream, like aka me, and hopefully some of you guys, hope you guys tune into live streams, but people who watch the live stream will get an entire different version of the pet. So at least people at home can get something this year. That's awesome. But also they broke down what they're going to be talking about. So these are probably some of the categories I'm going to personally be talking about. And I also might be talking about some old school updates in this one, just because it's RuneFest, it's a big one, and I like talking about RuneScape in general, so I don't really discuss old school as much, but, I might a little bit. Anyways, the main stage is going to have a few things. It's going to have RuneScape rest of the year. There is a couple updates we don't know about apparently, 3 of them to be particular, and there's going to be Fate of the Gods 2, Ark Chapter 2, and Sliske's Endgame. Pretty nice. I'm actually pretty excited for Sliske's, like I said earlier, and I'm also excited for Ark Chapter 2, so curious how that'll be. There will also be a RuneScape Combat Showcase, which will probably also be talking about the anti-walk and stuff. And then there is also... oh yeah, there's a stream and video maker Q&A. It'll have some of your favorites like Ice Poseidon, if you like old school. A friend, I think... who else is also there? Foe, Bodhi will be there. A lot of cool guys. There's not as many RuneScape 3. I think, honestly, a friend might be the only RuneScape 3. I don't think there's anybody RuneScape 3 only, so... you know what? You know what that means? Us RuneScape 3 YouTubers have to step up our game, so next year we can get there. Maybe someone like Alone, or even... oh no, Alkin's there. Alkin's gonna be there, so... but he's not RuneScape 3 only. But he is right now majority RuneScape 3, but... yeah, Alkin's gonna be there, so that'll be nice, but... like I said, one of us RuneScape 3 only have to get up there and show our stuff. Maybe Fat Nooblet. He's pretty cool. And there's also going to be like I said, old school. It's going to be the year ahead, basically. And there's going to be some RuneScape reveals. And they're advertising it'll be the biggest update ever revealed at a RuneFest talk. Apparently, evolution to combat was discussed. Invention was also discussed, so there's got to be something big if they're. And before they get there, they're like, "Alright, guys, Mod Mark here. We're closing down RuneScape. Oh, spin to win." Maybe it'll be something like that. But there's two more things on the main stage. There will be the Last Man Standing tournament. That'd be nice. I actually wouldn't mind covering that. Last Man Standing's pretty fun. If you guys haven't played that, I'd highly advise trying it out. It's pretty fun. But there's also that and the Golden Gnomes. Now I know I voted for who I voted for the Golden Gnomes. So I hope some cool people win. Of course they will. All of them. Everybody there is pretty good. And I like everyone. So basically, it's fun. The second stage though, we'll have a few other things. It will be a few things that are not really as much RuneScape as specific. Like they will be having a Chronicle Q&A. They will be having a quote unquote the future of RuneScape skilling. I guess that's the title, and it will be discussing on what skill might be next and what they would do with that skill. I hope it's something like I saw a suggestion a long time ago, or not a long time. It was recent, like maybe this year. Somebody made like an elite skill suggestion. I think it was architecture. I think that was what it was called, or archaeology. Quote me, like if any of you guys know what I'm talking about. That was a really, really good design block like somebody made. I would love to see that be the next one. That or sailing. Sailing would be fun, honestly. But I really would like archaeology. The person who ever did that did a really good job. I remember getting that support, but then it just kind of died down. So maybe when they talk about it, this person can come back and be like, "Hey, I made this 30-page design blog about archaeology. Look at it." But there will also be, like I said, there will be a little AMA kind of thing. It's called Ask the Artists. There will be a RuneScape lore corner, and there will also be a discussion about Idle Adventures, which, for those of you unaware, RuneScape Idle Adventures is a game produced by Hyper Hippo. Which, if you don't know, if you don't play idle games, you probably don't know about these guys. But Hyper Hippo made the game Adventure Capitalist, and if you're personally, I really like idle games. They're fun, and I've played about 100 hours into the Adventure Capitalist game. I haven't played it recently in a while, but that one's really fun, and I didn't pay any money. So for 100 hours of fun for $0, I got a lot of money for that. But I'm excited to play RuneScape Idle Adventures. I was thinking that after it comes out, like officially, because it's in early access right now. Once it comes out of early access, I'm thinking about making a small little let's play on it, just showing my opinions on it, how the game runs, and just trying to overall trying to promote it. Just because I love idle games and I love to work at Hyper Hippo, and I love RuneScape, so hopefully they mesh together well. I read a few things about it, so I'm curious how I will like it. That's pretty much. Oh yeah, okay. There's a little more about RuneScape Idle Adventures. There is, yeah, like I said, there's early access, and they want us to provide feedback so they can get out of the early access and get into the real game, like the main game when it's out in general. There's a few ways you can do that. You can message Mark on Twitter, or even just go up to him at RuneFest if you're actually going. You can discuss it on the RuneScape forums. There's a thread, and you can also go on the Steam community page. In my opinion, that'd probably be the best one because then everybody else sees it. Because maybe it's a problem on your end and you post it, and then somebody says, "Oh no, man, you're just doing something wrong. Just do this, this, this." So that's probably, in my opinion, probably the best way to probably put out feedback, because then other people can either say, "Yeah, they've had that problem," or "No, this isn't that big of a deal," stuff like that. So that is all about the Q&A of September month ahead. Oh yeah, they still haven't. This is speaking of, because somebody mentioned this, that earlier this year they talked about the. Oh my God, stupid Drake. But they discussed about the 15-year documentary, and it's September now, and I swear that they talked about this like in January, that it was kind of like close to done. So I hope that documentary actually comes out this year. It looked good, and I actually want to watch it. So. Oh well, I hope it comes out. Anyways, we are done with that. We are now going to talk about the patch notes teaser for this week, made by Mod Shawnee, aka Mod Mark's son. It's probably gonna be a pretty long ramble, like I said earlier. It's already 30 minutes, something like that. So it'll probably be pretty long, but it's a good one in my opinion. Anyways, patch note teasers aren't as long. Actually, I'm gonna mention my number one patch. I don't know if really it's a patch, but there's two of them, I guess. One, the beach will be removed on Monday, September 12th. So if you're a beach user, do know that the beach will be removed September 12th. Keep that in mind. Also, September 19th, augmented dyes come out. Augmented dyed items come out. And I know this is a very first world problem, like for RuneScape, because having a dye means you probably are semi-rich, or you have a lot of money, or you're an Ironman that got a dye and put it on your weapon, like me. So, for those of you unaware, I've had two augmented dyes weapons for probably I've had them for at least 6 months now. I've had and no, well, I'll show you right now. If you guys are actually watching, I have a Noxious Scythe Barrows and a Noxious Longbow Shadow die. So I'm excited to actually be able to use Invention with them. And if you all watch my Ironman completion series, after September 19th, I will be going full Next mode, and by that I mean I will be augmenting my Noxbow, and I already have Precise 5 sitting in my bank ready for it. I am also trying to get Aftershock 3 ready for that as well, so hopefully that will happen within the next week. I mean, if I do an hour of Vindicta and I get like what? Let's pretend I get 20 kills, 200, 300 kills in the next week. Could get another lance. I'd say could. I don't want to say should, because I've been already lucky with them. But anyways, there's a few more things. Yeah, the main update of this week will be the anti-walk and the debuffs thing. So again, that will probably be the main update. And there's a few more. There's the jewelry graphical rework. I don't remember which mod did this. I remember following, I think it's one of the ninjas, that they are just graphically changing the the what is it? The jewelry, like sapphire, emerald, ruby, diamond, dragonstone, and onyx. They're changing all those graphically, and they look better in my opinion. I guess like it was needed. So I don't personally like some of the icons, they rest in your inventory. I don't personally like some of them, but I mean, change I guess is a good thing and should happen. But I just don't like some of them. That's just my opinion. But yeah, I'm not hoping, but I guess that's like always a nice thing for graphicals. I liked the Catherby and White Wolf Mountain. I'm glad they did that. So stuff like that. I like when they go back and they update things that are been in the game for 10 years. And one big update for all you portable fans: Dominion markers and marker plants left click options will only be available to the people that plant those. So I know that's a problem for trolling at Dominion, or not Dominion, but at portables, or just anywhere. So if people are excited about that, yay! Doesn't really matter to me as much because it doesn't. But it's a good thing. It's anti-trolling. That needs to be a feature in the game. So I'm kind of curious how it took this long. But hey, it's coming in. It's coming in. Maybe it was really annoying code. Ooh, a friend-only option has been added to the privacy section of the examine settings. That is really cool. So okay, I'll even show you on screen right now. So if you go to summary and then you go to my examine, if you look at this privacy, you turn on privacy. No one can see your personal. The thing is, they can't see your skills. They can't see your skills and what clan you're in. But there will be a new option after this that it might say turn it on to my friends only. So if you add somebody, then they can see all of that. But maybe you don't want random seeing it. So again, that's a cool thing. I always thought that it should have been a thing, so that's good. And there's a few more. They fixed a few issues that prevented the completion of certain clue scrolls in the Wizard Tower. I personally haven't had that, so that's good. They're doing something. You want to be able to do your clue scrolls. And also, players will be unable to place certain objects near the Prifdandus, oh my god, I can't say that word right now, but waterfall fishing area. So I guess there was a few, like, maybe it was marker plants and stuff, but apparently there was some troll items and all that good stuff. And that's pretty much it. Oh yeah, also, skilling, there's a few things for skilling pets. There will be 3 new methods to get skilling pets for three skills, 1 for each. Smithing will have the superheat spell now work. The fletching will now have Ascension Bolts work, and Hunter will have Marisamal. Is that how you say it? Jadinko. Basically, Jadinkos will work now. So that's good. And that's pretty much all the patch note teasers. I don't think there's anything else. Now we're going to be discussing Beyond the Arc. This is probably going to take a little bit. This is probably going to take a little bit of time, I feel. So yeah, there will be no more RuneScape updates in this ramble, but like I said, we're going to be discussing microtransactions and giving you my little feedback opinion on all of this. So just giving you that right now. And I feel like this might take a little while. So for those of you unaware, the past week, after this recent treasure hunter promotion came out called Beyond the Arc, which has tier 70 augmentable armor, I don't think that was the thing people were annoyed about. It was the problem that, one, it was kind of done wrong. That people thought like people were led to believe that you could get the outfits pretty fast, and then they realized you could only get it with like hundreds of keys. So that's like $50-$60. That is a lot of money for in my opinion, pretty crappy outfit. People just wanted it for cosmetics. So people were upset about that. People were upset about saying that they put like art stuff behind a paywall. No, it's pretty feels bad man right there, but people they were saying even there's a thread because after all this and there was a lot of people talking about this and just they're upset how much upset and then people started talking about how frequent not microtrans but treasure hunter updates are right now. As far as I'm aware, apparently only Wednesday is the only day where there's not a treasure hunter promotion happening. And to me, that's really sickening, in my opinion. I will get to that in a second. Why? There's a few things. Apparently, the main criticisms in Mod Osborne's eyes are the frequency of treasure hunter promotions is too much right now. That's 100% true. The outfit cannot be gained with daily keys. That is 100% true. You do need additional keys to complete that new outfit from Treasure Hunter. A combat and invention related rewards update feels like a game content update and not a reward from Treasure Hunter promotion. Again, that is 100% right. It just does to me also. It just doesn't. Well, that's mainly my opinion, but I'm not surprised personally that there is an augmentable set on Treasure Hunter now, so that doesn't really bug me as much. And it's tier 70, and also Beyond the Arc feels like, in his words, that we're putting an ARC reward behind a paywall. It's largely because the ARC updates, as they are aware, are pretty underwhelming. And I'd have to agree with them there. Kind of. People give the ARC a really bad rep, but there are a few nice things in it, like there's the tier 85 spear. That's about it, probably. But, I mean, I guess, I liked it because I haven't done the comp requirements, like I said, so I don't have to worry about the BS 20-hour grind or whatever it is, but yeah, it's kind of a iffy thing right there. And also, Mount Osborne said that microtransactions are vital to RuneScape as a business. Without them, they wouldn't be able to invest in RuneScape as much as they currently do. Apparently, though, this is his words, when they design promotions, they try to consider and balance the health of the game, the commercial success of RuneScape, and how microtransactions affect the players. And then he goes into a few of his own opinions. Before we go into his, I'm going to go into a few of mine. So, for those of you unaware, there's a few reasons why I play Ironman mode. One of the main reasons I play Ironman mode is because I was personally tired of a lot of the treasure hunter updates. I didn't like a lot of them. Now, a lot of them aren't that bad. I like also speaking of, I like not treasure, but I like Solomon's Store. Solomon's Store, my opinion, is very balanced. It's a lot of cosmetical stuff, just a lot of outfits and fun stuff. And if people want, it's kind of like CS:GO, or I think, as far as I'm aware, CS:GO and League of Legends. I haven't played the other games, but I'm pretty sure. I think it's TF2. It is like that, but apparently, but what I mean is it's a cosmetic store other than Legendary Pet and the Rune Pouch. whatever it is. But other than those two, it's a cosmetic store, and you just buy things that make you look better. I've never had a problem with that in games, and in my opinion, that's a pretty nice thing. So, not maybe not a nice thing, but it's a thing that it doesn't affect me. It's cosmetic. But I personally have a problem with Treasure Hunter, and the problem I had personally was it ruining things. And people have said like, "Oh, Treasure Hunter isn't OP, it's not efficient, or some other things." But there's a few things. One, Treasure Hunter is efficient. If you go for like 5.4 bill, some promos are actually more efficient to do through training. I had a problem with that personally. And two, there's a few things about Treasure I don't like. It's it's kind of like, of course you don't just buy keys and just get a max cape for $13,000, but there's a few things that Treasure Hunter has done to the game that I just don't appreciate. Like, for example, Silverhawks has 100% ruined agility on a main account. There's like it just has, you know? People like now, like before Treasure Hunter came out, there was 30 people, I think 30 people with 200 mil agility. Why? Because back then, that was right before Prif. They did it about the time Prif happened, because one of my friends actually got 200 mil agility about the time that Silverhawks came out, and I believe he was number 29 to get 200 mil agility. So I think that was even 200 mil. That was 29 or 30 people, even with Jebram having two of those 200 mil agility people. So yeah, it shows you how much people didn't want to get 200 mil agility. But I'm actually going to pull up now how many people actually have a 200 mil agility. But also speaking, it's not just Silverhawks. There's a few things I don't like, but I don't really like portables as much, just because you can't get them from you can't just get them. I feel like that should be a thing that should have actually came out as a real thing. So, eh, I'm not gonna sit here and discuss how much I hate Treasure Hunter, because there's a lot of things that aren't too bad with it. There's a lot of things I don't like, but at the end of the day, a lot of it isn't too bad. But there's just a few promos I just don't like, and a few items I don't like from it. But yeah, okay. There's apparently 300 people maxed a 200 mil, so I guess it's not too bad. But at the same time, I wonder how many people would actually be 200 mil without Silverhawks. So because it's literally lossless XP to go boss for your money, like go boss for your agility XP. That's just, I hate that. Like, I don't personally love training agility, but it's one thing nice about Ironman is that I actually had to train agility, and it's 283 people with 200 mil agility, by the way. So pretty much like 10 times what it was 2 years ago. So I wonder how many people would actually have it without Silverhawks. But anyways, we're talking about Beyond the Arc. We're not really talking about invention itself. So what he did, like all the things I said earlier, the few criticisms, what Mod Osborne did, he took all of them and he took them apart, and just gave his opinions about them. I don't know if these are 100% all of his opinions, or if they're the company's opinions, or whatever. So we'll talk about each one of them. Arc rewards behind a paywall. As a lot of people have said, that this is a reward they just plucked right out of it. I'll just read straight off because I don't want to try and summarize this. But when we first sat down to design Arc Chapter 1, we wanted to get the gameplay right, and we were more interested in giving you satisfying XP rates than item rewards. We got that wrong. We need more than just XP rewards to tempt you to play the Arc for up to 30-40 hours. 100% true. Like I said, I haven't personally gone to the Arc for comp requirements, so I know I've said that a few times, so I'm not trying to repeat myself. It's relevant. But I've only done R-hats. I've done about 5k other chimes. I have 6k chimes in my bank, so I don't personally have a problem with the Arc. It's just AFK content. It's not Livid. I did Livid with the hop method, 14 hours straight. Apparently they said, and his words are, "We were wrong about all that, and we have learned for Chapter 2, Chapter 2 of the Arc. One of the core focuses is to make it more rewarding. There are plenty of item rewards planned for the Arc Chapter 2, and you will hear about them at RuneFest, so next weekend. And he also gave us one reward for next week. for the arc, whatever, for RuneFest. One of the rewards that will be coming out in Chapter 2 is the Crystal Siphon, which lets us siphon crystal equipment as if it was tier 90, as in gaining extra XP. He didn't go into it if it was just weapons, or if it was just armor, or if it was just tools. But if it's tools also, ooh, that's gonna be really nice for my hatchets. I still might break down my rest of my crystal, because I have 9 dragon hatchets right now from DK, so I might break all those down myself and then siphon my last one whenever I train more woodcutting. But that sounds pretty nice. Panic buy crystal stuff, but the lack of rewards in the arc has meant that the high level armor of Hanto, that's the Beyond the Arc Treasure Hunter promo armor, but it feels like it was ripped out of content, plopped behind a paywall. This is not the case at all, and apparently the microtransaction team themselves made this armor, so I don't personally feel like it was stuff taken straight from the update. It was just they just decided they wanted to make something, and they said, "Hey, let's use the arc as our inspiration." That's probably what they did, so that's not my problem there. And combat invention gear and treasure hunter. Now, there's one thing bad about putting invention gear on like treasure hunter, because invention's supposed to be a what is it? A skill that gets you to get rid of like stuff. And putting stuff on treasure hunter, all that does is make it a money sink, but not that good of a money sink, honestly. If you don't know, there is so much other money getting injected from like PVM that in this game that a lot of money sinks just don't do much at all. So that doesn't matter at all. I personally am not a fan about it, but like I said, I play Ironman, so I don't really care as much. Inability to gain the items through daily keys. They said we need to do something about how we do this kind of promotion in the future. We made changes based on your feedback since the last promotion of this style. Flight of the Butterflies, which I heard also was a horrible treasure hunter promotion. I didn't touch it because again, Iron Man. I logged into my main. I remember trying the butterflies promo. I clicked on it because I just did my daily keys, and I was like, "Oh, this is confusing as hell. I don't care about it," so I didn't do it. And also, another thing he talked about was promotion frequency, and I was kind of surprised about this. That he says this is where we have to come back to the point that microtransactions are an extremely important factor in making RuneScape a continued success. We don't want to overwhelm you with promotions, but there should be a balance between ensuring commercial success for the game and making it fair within a reasonable range within which you, our community, are happy with. I find that kind of BS. What Osborne is basically saying there, and I don't think it's Osborne speaking. I think honestly this is just him speaking on behalf of RuneScape and behind the Jagex and all that. But either way, what he's saying here is that we don't want to overwhelm you with promotions, but we do. I don't think he realizes how many promotions are actually coming to the game. There is legitimately, every time you look at Treasure Hunter, I promise you, if you click on Treasure Hunter right now, whenever you're listening to this video, as long as they didn't change something like within a week, or if you're watching this like months from now, maybe they actually changed something for once, but if you're watching this like when I release this, I promise if you click on it right now, I wonder if I can. It probably won't let me do anything with Treasure Hunter on this account. Nope. Okay. If you click on it, there's a promotion right there, or there's advertisement for the next promotion. And I'm probably gonna get this quote really wrong, but there was a quote by I don't remember who either, that if something's on sale all the time, it's not really on sale. Jagex, I think, needs to realize that for their microtransactions, that if they're always doing a sale, people are never gonna buy keys off sale. They're getting people to never buy keys off sale. Like when it first came out, I didn't like it at all when Squeal of Fortune Treasure Hunter first came out. But I wish it would go back to that, because they had promotions like twice a month, maybe, and now they have, like I said, they probably have like more. I know they have more updates, treasure hunter updates than they do main game, and that's just kind of sad. But like I said, like it's not even a problem about the updates in general; it's the frequency. If you're doing too many, you're gonna get people upset, and then those people are gonna probably stop buying keys. Although I know there are the whales that will buy thousands of keys no matter what, and those are what these promotions are targeting. So again, it might make money in the short term. And it's also an economics thing, because what they're doing right now, they're making probably a lot of money in the short term, but in the long term, this might push people away from RuneScape and also just Treasure Hunter in general. So then these people will stop buying keys, and then Jagex will be losing money, and then Jagex will have to make more promotions, which will make more people upset about it and quit, or stop buying keys, which will make Jagex less money, and it's a cycle. And hopefully that doesn't happen, but I really don't want it to happen. This game has gone on for 15 years, and I've loved it for the past 10. I really hope it. I really don't want to see it die. I'm in university for a minimum 3 more years. I would like to play RuneScape for the next 3 years. I don't want it to die. And I also don't want it to die and old school be the only game, because if R3 dies, old school RuneScape will get microtransactions. I promise you that. If RuneScape 3 dies tomorrow, and within a month old school RuneScape doesn't have Treasure Hunter or something, some type of microtransactions, because I just messed it up. But if they don't, then I don't understand. I promise you, there will be. I know those old school RuneScape players that are talk about how much bad and how much they hate RuneScape 3. They want it to die and they want it. But the thing is, one, RuneScape 3 makes so much money because of Treasure Hunter and stuff like that. But two, if RuneScape 3 dies, there will be microtransactions old school. And a lot of people play old school, get away from that stuff. I play Ironman mostly to get away from that. And also because I like the I don't know, I just like the game playing without a GE. But overall, with the Beyond the Arc, I really hope they actually they take our suggestions. I really hope, because apparently when they did the butterfly one, they said they were going to do stuff. Nothing ever happened, of course, and then they just went back to pumping updates. But yeah, that's my opinion on that, and that's pretty much the end of all of this. There's not much. I don't want. Yeah, that's one thing. I really hope, at the very minimum, if somebody Jagex is watching this, or if you guys somehow know somebody, the one thing I really want them to think about is the overwhelming promotions. I can't understand their logic with saying that way they don't want to overwhelm. When if you click on Treasure Hunter, there will be a promotion on there. But now this is actually kind of getting too rambly for my rambles, but you know what? I'm going to end it here, guys. I believe that's enough. That's about all I want to talk about. RuneFest is next weekend. Expect a few rambles about RuneFest next weekend. And expect another one probably next Tuesday or something. Maybe Wednesday. Probably Wednesday. About RuneScape. I'll try to be on schedule. And maybe another one about off topic later on. But you know what, guys? Thank you so much for watching this ramble. And I will see you in a couple more days. Take care, everyone.